Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara, coming to you live from Niagara Falls, Canada, and welcome to my little corner of YouTube. Today I thought I would talk about adhesives, and for me that means glue and tape, basically. So right here in front of us we have my basket of adhesives, glues mostly. But before we get to that, I'll just talk about a few things that don't fit in here. So first of all, the first thing we're going to look at is washi tape. This is a little candy jar. As you can see, I don't have that much of it. I'm not a big proponent of using washi, but I like it and I get it, and I use it. So what can you do? I actually do use washi, so maybe I am a proponent, I don't know. So I keep this in a candy jar that I got from the thrift store, or a container, I don't know what you call these things. Okay, so we're going to go through some other tapes that don't fit in my box. Of course, everybody has the staple of masking tape, which is great for using in your art because you can paint on it so well. I have a couple of rolls of the decorated duck tape, whether you want to call it duck as in quack quack or duct as in heating vents, one or the other. That's what this is. Hey, guess what? I don't know if you can see that in there, but this actually is duck quack quack tape. This is all I have at the moment, but whenever I go to the hardware store, which is not very often, the only time I ever go to the hardware store is if my husband says he needs to go there while I'm in the car with him. Then sometimes I will not wait in the car for him. I'll come in and I'll pick up some tapes. Hardware store has all sorts of kinds of tapes. This right here is glow-in-the-dark tape, and it's almost like fabric. It's got that fabricy feel to it, and it is extremely adhesive. It's meant to put on your clothing if you work at night or whatever. But it's cheap to buy supplies at the hardware store. So if you think that you can get what you want at a hardware store rather than the craft store, like Michael's will charge 3 times as much as a hardware store does for the same product, basically. And the other thing that I get, and I've got a couple, but I'll show you this. Oh, I have one in my washi tape thing of, okay, blah, 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 blah. Let's start that over again. The other thing that I buy is medical tapes, which you can get from the... Yeah, the other thing that I buy is medical tape, and you get this from the drugstore. I don't have a lot right now. I've got this, and there's something in my washi container. Where is it? Let's see. Here it is. So I have these 2 tapes from the drugstore right now, medical tapes. This is a fabric. It's called Durapore. It's by 3M. This is what you stick on gauze with. It is a really strong tape, and it's fabric. It's got a really toothy feel to it, and you can paint on that wonderfully. That's little, so it goes in my washi thing. The other one that I have, and I just absolutely love this stuff. This is called Medipore. And again, it's by 3M. Now this stuff is porous, and it soaks up the paint. Again, it's incredibly sticky. Just look at that. And this is great for working with too. It'll stick stuff together, and then you can do all sorts of crazy art on top of it. So don't know what it's for really. Probably, I don't know, some gauze tape maybe or something. So those are what I have that doesn't fit in my basket. Now I think what I'm going to do with my basket here is I'm going to empty it. So just give me a second while I empty it here, and then when I show you the stuff I can put it back into it. Things go crashing on the floor. Okay. There's a lot more stuff in here than I thought there was. Now that I've got it all over my table. Okay, first of all, I have staples, because I do use a stapler occasionally to stick things together. And the stapler is probably downstairs because my family uses it a lot too. So back and forth, back and forth. So that's it. So let's do the odd things first. I guess I have some magnet tape. Why do I have this? I don't know. I just do. It's sticky on one side. I was making magnets out of puzzle pieces and altering them at one point a long time ago, and ended up with this left over, and I haven't used it for ages, but I'm not getting rid of it. So there we go. Okay, then happen to have some invisible tape. Don't use this very often. Usually we pick up a bunch of them at Christmas to wrap the Christmas presents, and then the leftovers get put in my basket. But the good thing about an invisible tape is that you can write on it, like even with a ballpoint pen, and it'll stick. It's nowhere near as sticky as the other things that I've shown up to this point, but it's an option. Certainly can't go wrong with it because you can use most products on top of it. I've got one roll of just regular, ordinary, what I call Scotch tape, but this is transparent tape. This is the shiny stuff that people usually use, and I practically never use this. Probably bought this at Christmas once. Okay, continuing on with the tapes, a product that I use a lot of, and I pick up whenever I see some on sale or at the dollar stores. I will pick that up, is double-sided tape. This stuff is awesome. Not everything needs to be like tremendously glued every centimeter of the thing to the page. Sometimes you want to put an altered piece of cardboard onto a background. All you need to do is put some double-sided tape on the edges, and off you go. You're fine. And this stuff is a lot stickier than this piece is worn. This stuff is a lot stickier than regular tape, I find. I use this a lot. Okay, continuing on with tape, I have these tape dispensers. They just roll on like this, and they put on the tape. It's like double-sided tape, but just small. It's used for scrapbooking. I've got tape, and I've got dots. This just puts down, here I got two of those. This just puts down dot, 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 dot of adhesive, and this works just like the double-sided tape. So I use these. Every now and then I'll be working on projects where I use these a lot. When I did Project Life, this is pretty much exclusively what I used. Now, the mainstay in my life are glue sticks, and I prefer brand names to no names, but I have been using up all my glue lately, and I've got two left of Elmer's, and then these are all no names, but they sell the Elmer's at my Dollarama, so I'll be going there to stock up on that, because that is nowhere near enough. I go through these things like crazy. Crazy. Well, me and all of you guys are keeping these guys in business, I'll tell you. If they didn't have us journalers and scrapbookers around, they would not sell the amount that they do to school kids. Believe me, I go through this like crazy. Okay, so now I think we're on to liquid adhesives. First of all, let me introduce you to Weld Bond. I have not used this. I picked it up because I heard it was permanent and flexible, so I thought I would give it a try. I have a really hard time with permanent glues for gluing down embellishments and 3D items so that they don't fall off. So I'm always looking for the perfect thing. The perfect thing that I have found is this right here. It's called The Ultimate by Crafter's Pick. I have the one that I'm currently using, and I have one in reserve. This is hard for me to find. As you can tell, they have different labels on them. But this is hard for me to find. They don't sell it at Michael's, and I really can't find it anywhere. I think I bought this online, and it wasn't a good deal. So if you know somewhere that in Canada, that stocks this, I will be grateful, because this is the most perfect super glue. It sticks anything to anything. It dries clear, and it's flexible, and it's the only thing that works for me. On here it says the only non-toxic water-based super glue. Adheres to metals, plastics, glass, and more. Dries clear. We've been in business since 1878. So I would love to find a regular supplier for this stuff. It's awesome. It's like liquid gold. Okay, everybody talks about Eileen's Tacky Glue and thinks it's the best adhesive. I got this on sale somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember. And so I thought I would try it out, though I haven't yet. I will bite my tongue if this is better than the Ultimate. There is no way that anything can beat this. I will be surprised if it does. I will have to try it out sometime. Okay, now, I don't use school glue, but we had to pick this carpenter's glue, which is the same thing as school glue, or what do people call it, PVA. So we had to pick this up for an art project my son was doing. So I've got this left over, and I've used this on like just straight from the bottle or mixed with water. That's a good decoupage glue. These were in the $1.50 bin at Michael's once, so I picked them up. It's called Glue and Seal by Inkessentials Matte Finish. I almost always buy, well, I should say I do always buy matte finish. I don't like glossy, unless, so I don't think I have any glossy stuff much. I just don't like the shiny look, and you can work on top of this when it's matte. So I haven't opened this one, but I have opened this one. And the lid, oh yeah, there we go. I have used this, and it's thick, and it's good. It works well. It's, I like it better than Mod Podge, tell you that. I know a lot of people like Mod Podge. I am not a fan. Right now I'm using up this bottle that I have that is like ancient. Still works though, so why not finish up using it? It smells like glue. I don't like the finish. I just don't like it very much. If it's ever on sale, I may pick it up again. I'd like to try some of their other things. They have so many different types out now that I haven't tried, so who knows. So since I don't like Mod Podge, what do I use? This, my friends. This, my friends, is what I use. Perfect paper adhesive is amazing. I love this. It's an acrylic adhesive, so it's like a matte gel medium, except that it is thin. It's thin. This is the matte kind, so it's got a nice rough surface to it. I'll just read what it says on here because it tells you better than I can. An enhanced acrylic adhesive, coating and medium. A permanent and archival acrylic adhesive made to adhere all weights and textures of paper to virtually any surface. Excellent for use as sizing, wet or dry, pigment medium, or finish top coat. UV resistant, this transparent matte finish is durable and flexible, ideal for use with fine art papers. This stuff is fantastic. If you've got a problem with your wet glues causing wrinkles, this will help solve that problem. Though there is no way you can have no wrinkles. If you're using wet glues on paper, you're gonna have a wrinkle or two. I have found. Not always, but you're not going to find something that will never, ever, ever wrinkle. But this stuff is great. Really good. So I've got the bottle I'm using and one in reserve. Always make sure I have this on hand. And notice that things seem to change their labels faster than I can buy the stuff. And I use a lot. I've got my molding paste in there. I don't use this as an adhesive. I use it as a texture paste, but it's in here anyways because it fits. One of my staples here is matte gel medium, and this is thicker. I can, yes. Yeah, this is way thicker. It's like mousse than the perfect paper adhesive, but matte gel medium you cannot go wrong with. It will always be an acceptable product to use for using a wet adhesive. I've always got a bottle of this. This is getting close to being done and I don't have any in reserve, so I need to go buy some. My Michaels sells Liquitex and Golden, so I buy whichever brand is the cheapest that day. And finally, the last thing that I'm using, which is new, is Yes Paste, and this is called a stick flat glue, and I'm not sure if this is acrylic. It doesn't tell you if it is or not. This is incredibly thick, and yet it leaves no wrinkles. This is beautiful stuff for using, for gluing papers. Like if you're working on a canvas piece or something that you plan on framing, like this stuff is like almost solid, and a teeny bit goes a very long way. I mean, look, I've just got that little tiny well in there. I love this. You will not get wrinkles. Okay, you may get one or two occasionally, but generally you will not get wrinkles, and it works fabulous on paper. I've used this with magazine paper, the thin stuff, and it works great. Like I said, it is incredibly thick. You'll be surprised when you first use it for the very first time, but it's great. And the only thing I don't like about it is a glossy finish. So your work's going to be shiny when you're finished. So I don't use it as often as I would like to. I have never seen one that, like, this doesn't say glossy on it. So I don't think it comes in different variations. If I ever came across one that said yes